I'm Chris, and today we're going to make maple syrup. Let's do this real quick. Making maple syrup can be a fun springtime tradition you can do on a weekend afternoon. Once you have your maple trees identified and marked, you want to go ahead and drill an upwards hole, about 1.5 to 2 inches deep or so. Once you have this hole drilled, the sap is going to start flowing. Now we need a way to collect this sap. I'm just going to use a simple tube that I'm going to put inside the hole for a nice snug fit. Now if you want to use more traditional methods, be my guest and go ahead. I'm just using what was available and the most cost-effective way for me. Once you have this tube in, you want to go ahead and put a tube inside the collection device. Here I'm just using a bucket for this tree. You want to collect the sap. It's going to take probably all night or so to get some sap out of there. The sap's going to start dripping depending on the temperatures. You want to start off with temperatures that are about freezing during the night, and then you want it to be above freezing during the day, just a few degrees above freezing, and that sap and that change in temperature is going to start flowing. Now that sap is going to go drip by drip, drop by drop, and you're going to collect this sap, and you're going to be surprised as to how much and how fast you're going to collect this sap. Once you have enough sap, you want to get a fire going, and then you're going to want to take your sap, simply pour it in a pot that's on your fire, and what we're going to do next is going to take a lot of time boiling this water. You're going to boil it down, reduce it down to increase the sugar content by removing the excess water. Once you start to see this foam form on the top, go ahead and collect it and discard it. You want to keep the fire hot and you want to keep it going. So you really have to watch your fire, watch your temperature, and tend to your fire. It's going to be an all-day event. So go ahead, wear some warm clothes, get some coffee, get your favorite beverage, and sit by your fire and enjoy. Keep that fire nice and hot, because like I said, it's going to be all day that we're going to be boiling this water. You're going to see the evaporation take place. This is something you definitely want to do outside. It's going to create a lot of steam and a lot of humidity that you don't want inside your house. So go ahead and do it outside. Now here, as you can see, it's starting to snow. So I'm in for a little bit of a cold day when I'm making my maple syrup. But that's no problem. It's just what it is. Once you get enough of the sap reduced, you can go ahead and take your pots and bring them inside to finish up the boiling process inside on your stove. Definitely watch the temperature. You want to keep it at the boiling point for your elevation. Now that's going to change slightly depending on the region you're in. Keeping everything hot enough and at that boiling point is going to be critical. As you reduce everything down, you're going to see a change in the consistency. You're going to see a change in the color. You want to monitor that and be aware of what's going on. As you're boiling it down, you're going to see it change. You want to go ahead and taste test often. That's one of the perks and fun parts of making maple syrup is the taste testing. Once you have it boiled down enough, go ahead and filter it. Here I'm just using a coffee filter and I'm pouring it into another pot just to filter it. Now I'm getting any little bits of particles or wood or bark or anything that might have been floating around in it before my final boil. Now sometimes you have it reduced down enough and you can stop here and go ahead and bottle everything. But if you think you want to boil it just a little bit more to get it that consistency of the store-bought syrup, be my guest, throw it back on the stove and boil it down even further. Now the recommended temperature you're supposed to get at is about 7.5 degrees above your boiling point. Once you get around that point, definitely take another taste test. It's well worth it, trust me. Taste test often. But once you get to that point, you're going to notice that the bubbles and everything is going to change a little bit. It's going to start to froth over or so, just a little bit more. You're going to notice the bubbles are definitely different. You're going to notice the consistency is different. You want to kind of look for like a sheeting effect on your spoon. Now, this is still a little bit too watery, so I need to cook it just a little bit more. But once I get to that perfect point, it is definitely going to be time to bottle this stuff. And if you ask your friends and family for the used bottles that they had from their maple syrup, it definitely makes a better presentation. Making maple syrup every season has become a nice tradition where we say goodbye to winter and we welcome spring. If you have one maple tree in your yard, I encourage you to do this. Now the color, consistency, and taste is going to depend upon the maple tree you have, but definitely enjoy. Thank you guys for watching and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Definitely share this video with your friends, and don't forget to check out some of my other videos.